The views and content expressed on the following program are provided solely for informational and entertainment purposes. They do not constitute legal advice. A podcast is not a substitute for retaining a competent, licensed attorney to advise you on your specific legal situation.
Break the business, play is work and work is play. Power into creators, have fun along the way. Break the business, doing what it takes. Celebrate success and learn from the mistakes.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is time for Break the Business, where we empower indie creators and have some fun along the way. I'm Ryan Kairalla, and it is a pleasure to have you here this week. I'm battling a little bit of the sickness, viewers and listeners, this week. Your beloved host, he's a little sicky boy. Little medical pro tip for the new parents out there. If you have a baby who's not feeling well and you're not quite sure what that baby's symptoms are, I have a foolproof way for you to find out. Just wait about 48 hours, and when you wake up the next day, you'll have your baby's symptoms, and you'll know exactly what he's sick with. And so that's little one gave me a sore throat and something that's just been getting all kinds of coughs, but I'm battling through it. I'm playing hurt this week because we have lots of great insight to share with y'all. We have a fantastic show. We got great news stories. We got a great co-host this week, a fantastic guest coming up in the next segment. We're going to be joined by award-winning recording artist CeCe Tennille. She's a Floridian. I already love that about her. And man, is she talented. She's got some great insight for us. She makes great original music. She travels the world as an Aretha Franklin tribute artist. I got so many Aretha Franklin questions for her. This show is gonna be a blast. So do not go anywhere. I would say don't touch that dial, but it's 2024. Who still uses dials? Nobody. Let's bring out our co-host this week, America's sweetheart, Katie Zaccardi is joining us. Hi, Katie.
Hello, Ryan. I love when you call me America's sweetheart because nobody feels that way, but it's really nice to hear anyway.
I haven't heard a single person say that you're not America's sweetheart.
You know what? That's a really... And have you ever seen me and America's sweetheart in the same room together?
Exactly.
No.
How was your long weekend, Katie? Was it restorative?
It was. I spent a lot of time at the pool and ate a lot of burgers, and I'm feeling good. I decided that I'm entering my country club mom era. I'm not a mom, and I do not belong to a country club, but that's the
But other
energy.
than that, you check off all the boxes.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm going to go play pickleball and lie by the pool as much as I can this summer. And so this weekend, really propelled me into that energy. By the way, I don't know how to play pickleball yet, but I'm going to learn. So it's fine.
I'm a full supporter of you becoming a pickleball girly. I mean, I would love for us to have that connection point because I'm something of an avid pickleballer. I'd love
Are
to be able
you? I can't say I'm surprised.
I love me some pickleball.
Despite my general attitude and demeanor, you might think I'm not a sports girly, but I actually am very athletic, and I used to play tennis, and I've heard pickleball is really pretty easy of a transition if you used to play tennis. So I'm looking forward to learning. I just ordered my paddle today.
Oh,
I'm committed.
You'll get into it. It's fun. You love tennis, you hate running, pickleball. It's I mean, and
perfect. That's literally me.
And staying with your country club mom aesthetic that you're going for, imagine a sport that you can play with a glass of wine in your hand and not spill a drop. And that's pickleball.
I love that. Yeah. Somebody was like, it's a good sport because it's mostly socializing. And I was like, perfect.
You can carry on a sustained conversation for the entirety of your pickleball game. I did something over the Memorial Day weekend that I haven't been able to do for a while as a new dad, which is I went to go see a movie with the missus. And we went and saw The Fall Guy, which I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not.
My quick 10-second review is the first 80% of it was pretty terrific. Nice popcorn movie, turn your brain off, have a good time. Sort of got a little ridiculous in the last 20% of it, but all in all, average to above average gets the job done. However, you said you have not seen this movie, right?
I have not. I have only seen the TikTok promotions of it.
Well, you know who has also not seen this movie is America, because it has joined the very long list of movies that are out right now that are going largely unseen by the American population. Forbes has reported that this Memorial Day weekend of movies was the worst performing box office of Memorial Day weekends since like the 1990s. It's been about 30 years since we've had a worse Memorial Day weekend in movies than this one. And Memorial Day weekend is supposed to be a big weekend for movies, right? It's the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
All the big blockbusters are here. And this one, it was promising to be a big Memorial Day weekend. You got the new Mad Max movie. You got this Fall Guy movie that's got, Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, big star power. You have the movie If, which is like a cute kids movie with like the fun CGI characters. You get the new Garfield movie. That's supposed to be like a fun CGI movie. Everything about this was screaming, oh, movies are back. Memorial Day, we're all coming back to the Cineplex post-COVID. And everything laid an egg. Nobody went to see any of these movies. Nobody cared about Furiosa or The Fall Guy or If or any of these things. And I mean, while I do think it's perhaps premature to sort of foretell like the demise of cinema, right? Especially because we had the Barbie movie, which did $1 billion. And we had what was the Oppenheimer, which was a big success, and Top Gun Maverick. And chances are like the Deadpool movie is going to do very well when it comes out. But I think we're seeing a lot more misses than hits than we're used to. And I feel like COVID has sort of trained movie audiences to wait for stuff to come out on streaming. Yeah. Especially because a lot of these movies are also being released alongside streaming. And I don't know about you, but the last few years have trained me to much prefer sitting on my couch with my own popcorn, able to pause the movie anytime I want to be able to go to the bathroom, more than having to like shower, shave, get in the car, and drive to a movie theater. And I'm thinking that audiences are starting to feel the same way going by these box office numbers.
I get that. I will say I have a lot of thoughts. First is, of the lineup that you listed, none of that seems super interesting. Like, I think that what was interesting last summer with the Barbie movie is that it finally felt like a movie that particularly women, but just people in general, like it was kind of different. It was for women specifically. It was like not a Marvel sequel of a sequel of a sequel of a sequel of a sequel, right? And so, and with the movies you just listed, I'm like, okay, Garfield, like, cool. I guess if you have kids, fun, whatever. But nothing is like really giving new or innovative lately. And the one movie of the last few months that I thought about going to see in theaters, speaking of tennis, was Challengers.
Oh yeah.
But then I was gonna go. And then one of my friends ended up not being able to go. We're like, okay, we'll wait, blah, blah, blah. And then a few days later, I saw on TikTok or somewhere on the internet, it was like, oh, Challengers is actually already being pulled from theaters or going to be soon, and it's going to be put on streaming. So I'm like, okay, well, why would I not at that point just wait? Like, I totally agree with you that we are just conditioned almost now to want to watch from the comfort of our homes. And probably part of it too is budget. It's like, well, I could pay $17 for my own ticket plus concessions, or I could pay $17 and watch it with 10 of my friends and we split it. And like, what's more economical? Even if, and that's to say, if it's not on a streaming platform for free, which a lot of the times, if you just wait long enough, it will be, but maybe you buy or rent it instead once it, goes there.
It's such a change in habits for me. I mean, in the 2010s, I would regularly see 3 to 4 movies a month. I mean,
really?
I was an avid moviegoer. If there was a movie that I was even mildly interested in, I was going to see it. Almost every weekend, I was going to the movie theater. And I just always assumed that would just be the way my life was. And the fact that I've gone from that to maybe I will see, this year, I'm maybe going to go see 2 movies in the whole year. And part of that's being a dad and having no free time.
But I was going to say,
part of it's the pandemic and just how easy it is to stream stuff and how much I prefer the experience.
It's true. And with you being a dad now, do you feel like the movie going experience itself has changed? And is there any part of you that's like, well, I don't have that like drive to like get a babysitter or bring my kid or like make it happen because it's just not worth it like it used to be?
The space shuttle launch worth of planning that is required to just get me and my wife to a movie now post baby. It's the movie better be damn Citizen Kane for me to go.
Yeah.
I mean, even with this movie, this was like our third weekend of a row of trying to go see this movie and always getting like derailed by something because like, oh, we were going to go one week and then like our plans got derailed or the kid wasn't feeling well. And, you know, you got to arrange a babysitter. I got to ask producer Lauren, can you watch the kid for the day? It's a whole lot of stuff. And so when I go to the movie and it's not everything I want it to be, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
And so it's just so much easier to be like, okay, kid's asleep. We got a comfy couch. We're going to make a bag of popcorn. If the baby cries, we can pause the movie and go like attend to the baby. It's just so much easier. But to me, it sort of just suggests like what's going to happen to the future of cinema. If the more that we make this decision, I mean, just think of what it means economically, like how it reshapes date night, what it means for, you know, all of the shopping malls in America that have movie theaters as anchor stores for all of the other retail.
Yeah.
This could be a pretty significant shift in just, you know, the entire economy if movie theaters diminish in their prevalence.
But then again, I will tell you one thing that I'm very excited to see in theaters, and that is the Wicked movie. And I think that one of those reasons is because it feels new. Now, I know movie musicals are not new, but the trailer, like it's giving big. It's giving cinematic. In the words of Harry Styles, it feels like a movie. And
I can't believe you.
But really. And I feel like it just like that's something that I think my movie viewing experience would be enhanced by actually watching that in theaters. And I don't feel like that about most movies. Like even the Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell movie, Anything But You, which I watched on a plane. It was fine on the plane. You know, it didn't need to have a giant screen. Like I got what I needed to get out of it. And I wonder if that's a part of it too. You know, back in the day, there was just more blockbuster to the blockbusters. And now it's just like, yeah, it'll do fine on my TV.
Well, I mean, real quick, and that is a good point there before we get to the next topic, is this is perhaps going to create a shift in the kind of movies that get made, right? Because the only, you know, it could be that the only stuff that's going to get theatrical releases years down the road are the big, massive productions, the big budget spectacles where people go, I'd rather see this on a giant screen with surround sound than, you know, in my TV at home, which means like the cute, adorable art housey stuff that was made on a $30 million budget or less don't get made as often because those aren't the kind of movies that people want to see in the theater, which kind of bums me out because I like that stuff and, you know, I enjoy those movies. I mean, I enjoy a big budget spectacle too, but like, you know, sometimes you just want to see something that's dialogue heavy and, you know, just an enriching drama. And, you know, the idea that that could be made less frequently is kind of a bummer.
I agree with you there. And I think maybe that's just an opportunity though to say, how can we engage people? Like, is it through the music? Is it through the visuals? Like, even if it's artsy, like how can we make it so that people want to see this in like a higher quality viewing experience, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Let's move from the big screen to perhaps the smallest of screens on the world of TikTok. One of the things that I like most about TikTok is when the platform gets people looking for something, right? Like you might have a TikTok video about this girl who meets this like really cute guy at a bar and she's like, I met this guy, we hit it off and then I lost him. Help me find him, TikTok. And then, you know, TikTok goes on a search. Oh, I know that guy. And then they connect and it's really cute. But the most recent version of somebody looking for somebody on TikTok is a little bit different. Lauren, do you have the video of this woman who's looking for somebody on TikTok?
I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. I'm looking for a man. I'm looking for a man. I'm looking for finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes.
And now that is TikToker at Girl on Couch, who, what was the caption of that video? Did I just write the song of the summer?
Yes.
So all she's doing is just repeating, I'm
Which
looking.
is arguably one of the funniest parts of it. Like,
Yeah.
she's making fun of musicians.
It's her rhythmically just saying, I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6. That's what she's looking for. And obviously she's trying to do like one of the lyrics for like one of these kind of dance songs that's just a repeated lyric over and over again. She's, this is at Girl on Couch. Her real name is Megan Bonney. She is not a musician. She's the first to admit it, although she is trying to establish herself as a comedian. But according to Billboard.com, she is the latest signee to Capitol Records.
Yep.
Bonnie just got a record deal with Capitol Records because after she put out that TikTok video of her just, repeating that phrase over and over again, a bunch of top producers, including David Guetta, Alesso, Loud Luxury, and Bill and Ted, decided to throw like music beats behind that, like she was trying to get people to do in that video, and made like these like club bop songs, including the one by Bill and Ted, which is out right now on Spotify, that takes that I'm looking for a man in finance lyric and sets it to the beat of Like a G6 by Far East Movement. And it's going up the charts right now, and it's already popular. And so she has a legit record deal just from this random thing. She got connected with Todd Rubenstein, who's a top entertainment lawyer. She got signed to United Talent Agency and has quit her 9-to-5 job. As somebody who has spent the last, decade of his life writing books on, record deals and what it means to get a record deal and the dangers of getting record deals, I would have never predicted 10 years ago that somebody would get a record deal by just saying, I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, over and over into a TikTok video.
Yeah. And let me tell you this too, like that headline was perfect for rage baiting because I saw it on TikTok first and all it says is like, girl in finance, a girl looking for a man in finance got a record deal. And like, if you read the fine print of the article, she got a deal for this one song. So it's not like she was like signed on to make... She's
not getting like a 3-album deal out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
They just licensed the audio.
I, like many musicians hearing this right now, was like, what in the world? She made this song that's like stupid. It's not even, I mean, it is a good song. It slaps, let's be honest. But
thank you.
It's
credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I can't go on record by saying it's not even that good. Like it's a bop, but also it's a bop in part by the people who lifted it up and like put beats behind it and like the whole movement of it. And anyway, all that to say, as a musician, I was like, I could feel the indie musician rage of like, why am I working my butt off when this girl just comes on and gets the deal? And I'm glad. So all that to say, I'm glad that they're not, record labels aren't feeding into like just TikTok sensations. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, they see that this is already making money. And so they want to capitalize on that and make money off of it. Like pretty standard record label behavior. We shouldn't be surprised by that. And I do think though, that maybe this is, while it can be looked at as annoying and like discouraging for musicians, because it's like this girl who doesn't even want to be a musician is getting a record deal and I can't even like get a gig. I think that it's actually, on the flip side, a really fun and exciting thing of like one video can literally change your life. Like you can make one video and if it picks up traction, guess what? Those record labels do want to make money. These people who represent talent do want to hop on who's getting traction right now. And if you play your cards right and you follow through and you, whether or not you take any of those deals, but you leverage what momentum you have, you can really make something out of that. And, we don't know the exact science to a T of like what goes viral versus what won't. But I think it is kind of exciting to see that like, still now even with the like uncertainty around TikTok, people are just blowing up and becoming new names basically because of one video.
And just one repeated phrase over and over again. I think the lesson to take from this, if we want to sort of take out the stuff that's sort of frivolous and silly about this and try to distill like a solid piece of knowledge out of this, is to me it's an example of how TikTok has changed the life cycle of music, where there's still a lot of value in indie artists for, instead of just putting your song on Spotify and making that step one of your release, you make step one of your release using TikTok as a way to show people the beginning of the song, the process of the song, the life cycle of the song. You think of an artist like Gail, who wrote the song ABCDEFU by, strumming it on TikTok videos and taking solicitations from her viewers about what she wants to write songs about. Or Dial Drunk by Noah Khan. He was making TikTok videos of him doing songwriting sessions as he was working out the lyrics in real time. Mm-hmm. Giving people the story of the song, the beginnings of the song, allow people to get invested, and it allows you to sort of find out what's working with your audience. Think of how many times you hear a song on TikTok, it absolutely slaps. It's not on Spotify yet because they just put out the video, but then you see like all the comments are, why is this not on Spotify? Can you put this on Spotify? As an artist, isn't it really useful to know that you already have like a built-in interest in your song because you're getting all those why is this not on Spotify comments? And that can help you decide, oh, this is going to be my next release now. Yeah. That's pretty useful intel that you didn't used to get when step one was just putting it on Spotify and hoping for the best, hoping you get on a playlist or something.
Yeah, or like having to book 1 million gigs, play songs, get feedback from hope that you get feedback from the audience if people come up to you, or just kind of go off of applause and enthusiasm and reaction from the crowd. Like this is so much easier and so much more straightforward to get people's pulse on things, and if they like it and if they don't. And obviously it's not to say that people don't like it if your TikTok video doesn't go viral, but when people do like it, you'll know they like it.
Yeah, and it's nice to know that, okay, if I put this out on Spotify, there's already a built-in audience because the audience has made clear to me that this is something that they want to hear. And that doesn't mean, and as to your point, which is a good one, just because you don't get that big response doesn't mean, I'm not going to release this song, because there's a lot that goes into the algorithm, and there's just as much luck as there is skill involved in making something go viral. But when you do get that viral hit, I can put this on Spotify. It's going to have a built-in audience. Maybe it's going to be easier to find a playlist for it, and you can be off to the races. And more than anything else, it builds fan engagement because people love to see the process of things. They love to, TikTok videos about how a song came together, the songwriting process, the story behind a song. Or, I love referencing this video of, we interviewed this guy a couple years ago, Nobody Likes You, Pat, where he made this one video of him recording this ridiculously high note that's barely audible in the song. Mm-hmm. But it was just an awesome video, and it got a lot of people interested in the song. People love that kind of stuff. We love stories, right? Yeah. People are just attracted to stories and love to hear the stories behind the art that they're going to fall in love with. And so, whether it's that kind of stuff or just getting to see the very beginnings of just a comedian saying, I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund 65 blue eyes. And then it gets, and then David Guetta and Bill and Ted get a hold of it. And you have this unexpected hit and record deal on your hands.
And it was relatable.
Or are we all looking for a man in finance?
Or are we all not looking for a man in finance? No, but I think that it was like, again, I mean, it's the crossroads of what I teach all my clients. And I know that musicians in general sometimes have pushback because it's like, well, I don't want to be writing my music just to be marketed. I want to write from the heart and write my music. And you should be doing that. You absolutely should be doing that. But what are the parts of your music that's the most relatable? Or what are the parts of the music that you can highlight to connect with people? And I feel like even though this was meant to be comedy, like it honestly was relatable. And it's almost funny because it was delivered in exactly the way that emphasized its relatability of like, Girl, same. I also am looking for that. It's rough out here. Like, it captured the energy and in that relatability. So, you know, you can do that too in a serious way as a serious musician, not a comedian. Just, you know, watch and learn.
Exactly right. Before we go to break and bring on CC Tennille, I did have a quick legal story that I thought was pretty interesting. And I was reminded of it because of our guest, CC Tennille, who herself is a tribute artist. In addition to putting out great original music, is also tours the world doing a Aretha Franklin tribute show. And so her work reminded me of a recent story from the Music 3.0 blog by Bobby Owsinski, where he was talking about a recent settled lawsuit involving Earth, Wind, and Fire, the very popular, awesome band that wrote a song about my birthday, 21st night of September, and their lawsuit against an Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute band called Earth, Wind, and Fire Legacy Reunion. The lawsuit recently settled, although the terms are not disclosed. It's pretty well understood that the tribute band had to pay some damages to Earth, Wind, and Fire and stop using their band name as part of their tribute band. And so what this case kind of talks about, and I think it's important for artists listening and watching to hear, is what are the limits to what a tribute band is allowed to do? If you travel the world being a tribute band, which means like, you are basically singing the songs of a already existing band, is that against the law? If you're singing another band's songs around the country, if you're using the band's name, can you do that? Is that violating copyright law? Is that violating trademark law? And the answer is that generally it's perfectly okay to be a tribute band. There are tribute bands all over the country who will often play the songs of artists and go to towns that like the big time band is too big to go to, right? So like, you're never going to get like Bon Jovi to come to your small town, but maybe a Bon Jovi tribute band will. And so you can listen to that. And generally it's perfectly okay for a band to get together and, play the same Bon Jovi songs because, performance licenses, right? When you're playing at a venue, that venue usually has ASCAP, BMI, CSAC licenses that allow cover songs to be played in those venues. So you don't need special permission or anything like that. And generally bands can refer to themselves as a Bon Jovi tribute band, or in CC Tennille's case, a Aretha Franklin tribute artist. Where you end up on the wrong side of the law, which is what this Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute band did, is when consumers get confused. If you start using the name of your band in such a way to make people think that you're not just a tribute band, but you're actually the band, that's when you run afoul of trademark law. And what got this Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute band in trouble, according to the lawsuit, was they were referring to their band as, quote, Earth, Wind, and Fire Legacy Reunion. Now, when you hear that name, Katie, does that sound like Earth, Wind, and Fire is reuniting? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it's like giving reunion tour.
Yeah. Like, I'm guessing a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire fans are like, oh my God, their band's back together. They're reuniting, right? Yeah. So that got them in trouble. Their promotional photos like showed a bunch of pictures of the old band members, which, further kind of, and they were using like Earth, Wind, and Fire trademarks and things like that. So a lot of fans were getting confused. And once you get into that consumer confusion, right? If your advertisements, if your name could possibly make people think that this is not a tribute band, but the real deal, that's when you can run afoul of trademark law and get yourself in trouble. So if you have one of these tribute bands, the first thing I'd recommend is talk to a lawyer. Make sure that everything you're presenting out there is putting you on the right side of the law. But in particular, make sure that you are referring to yourself as a tribute band. Generally, I often recommend that tribute bands don't even use the band name in your name. Like, don't call yourself Earth, Wind, and Fire Tribute Band, because that could be confusing. A lot of tribute bands use a completely different name, and then it'll be generally understood that they are a tribute band of that band. Don't use the band's logos. Don't put anything out there that would make people suggest you are the actual band, because that's how you get in trouble. As long as consumers are not confused, you're going to be on the right side, and your tribute band is free to go around the country and keep rocking out with these awesome covers that you're doing.
And we want that.
And we do want that.
And we want that because I went to a Fleetwood Mac cover band back a few months ago, and it was a blast and a half. So we need you. Sure. We need you to keep going.
Yes. Much as our guest is doing, traveling the world, singing Aretha Franklin's hits. We're going to talk to her all about that. Don't go anywhere. We got CeCe Tennille coming up right after the break. Keep checking out Break the Business. We'll see you in 2. Break the Business is presented in cooperation with Ryan A. Kairalla, PA. Ryan A. Kairalla, PA is a law firm providing transactional entertainment legal services, including contracts, business formation, commercial law, copyright, trademark, and more. Ryan A. Kairalla, PA, Miami, Florida. rkpalaw.com.
Streaming services for Break the Business provided by LEK Entertainment. LEK Entertainment is a full-service entertainment company offering everything from consultations to full-scale events and productions, including audio and video productions, voiceovers, staged theatrical productions, script and music development, and streaming services. For more information, visit lekentertainment.com. LEK Entertainment wants to help you bring your story to life.
Thanks for supporting Break the Business. If you have a question or topic that you want us to discuss, email us at breakthebusiness@gmail.com. You can follow the host, that's me, on Twitter at Ryan Kair, and you can follow the show at the BTB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and on all major podcast platforms. And now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back to Break the Business, you lovely humans. Oh, there's the, pardon me, that's more of that, the last vestiges of that illness my dear son gave me. Thank you for checking out Break the Business wherever you're checking us out. Ryan Kairalla here with Katie Zaccardi, and we are just so darn grateful that you are taking in this program wherever you're taking it in, whether it is on our new live streaming partner, Volume.com, or Twitch, or Facebook, whether it's on all major podcast platforms, or on our satellite radio home at SiriusXM 145. We are just so glad that you are joining us each week, and we thank you in advance for telling a friend and growing this community and helping expand our network of indie creators that are just dedicated to helping move each other's careers forward. And speaking of an awesome indie creator, let's go ahead and bring out our guest this week.
She's a Tennille. She's got a voice that's real. She's here to break the business, show them how it feels. Walking in the room, she lights up the stage with her soulful sound. Gonna make them all amazed. She's got that fire.
Our guest this week is a 3-time Independent Music Award-winning recording artist who has opened for B.B. King, Robert Randolph and the Family Band, Joe Cocker, and more. She performs her original music around the world, as well as the music of Aretha Franklin in her acclaimed tribute show, Portrait of Aretha. Her latest single, Try, dropped on May 24th, and you can find out more about our guest's work by visiting www.cctennille.com. We are happy to welcome CeCe Tennille on to Break the Business. Hi there.
Hi! Oh my gosh, I had a song. That's amazing.
Oh, of course. I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's you. We got to roll out the red carpet for a fellow Floridian, an amazing performer like you. I'm so glad to be talking to you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness.
You are our first Aretha Franklin aficionado that we've had on Break the Business. And I want to talk a little Aretha with you since I'm talking to an expert here.
Let's talk a little Aretha then.
Yes. Okay. I have maintained for a long time that the greatest musical performance ever captured on television was by Aretha Franklin. Katie, I want to take you back in the time machine here, okay?
All right.
The year is 1998. And see, CeCe already knows where I'm going with this. It is the Grammy Awards, and acclaimed opera singer Luciano Pavarotti is supposed to sing Nessun Dorma at the Grammy Awards, a very challenging song. The night before the Grammys, he calls up the producers and says, I'm sick. I can't make it. I can't sing. He's supposed to get a Lifetime Achievement Award, by the way, but he's sick. He can't sing the song. Katie, they call in Aretha Franklin, who, with no rehearsal, has never worked with the orchestra, comes on the day of the show and sings the most insane version of Nessun Dorma you've ever seen on a worldwide audience. Again, never working with this full orchestra, and just absolutely crushes it. Cece, am I getting any part of this story wrong?
No, the whole story is right. The rumor is that she said, "Just get me the lyrics," right? And 1 billion people watched.
Did she
it.
know the song or she
No.
learned?
Mm-mm. She said,
Really?
"Just get me the lyrics." And so, of course, when you listen to it, it is Nessun Dorma, but it is Aretha's rendition
Yeah.
for sure of Nessun Dorma. And, if you are an Aretha aficionado, like Ryan said, you know that Aretha took every song and made it her own. I even say a line in my show that she took people's songs and then never gave them back.
That's so true.
Because Aretha herself was a consummate cover artist, songs like I Say a Little Prayer for You were originally done by Miss Dionne Warwick, songs like Respect, I don't know what happened with Otis Redding, but Aretha is the version that we all know, right?
Depending on who you talk to, there's a different story.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, like, for a homework assignment, viewers and listeners, when you are done with this program, we obviously can't play it for very clear copyright reasons, but go find the YouTube video of Aretha Franklin singing Nessun Dorma at the 1998 Grammys and just prepare to have your mind blown. From what I read, from hearing about this story, I think she had heard the recording like once on a tape recorder, like just like in the dressing room, and just went, "Yeah, I got it."
Yeah, it was
Just did the
very extremely more talented than I can say I would be, because it is a very challenging song. And I mean, I don't even sing it now. I mean, I could, but it is very challenging. And so that is a very admirable feat that she accomplished that night, to perform that with the orchestra sight unseen.
Well, so what inspired you? I mean, on the fact that Aretha's awesome, but what inspired you to want to do this tribute show and travel the world singing her songs?
Well, I kind of fell into this, to be honest. It wasn't my goal to be a tribute act, right? But my mom had always played Aretha around the house. My mom and my grandma, that was kind of our Saturday morning ritual, and I would just be singing, I would sing those songs around the house. And then I started headlining at the BB King's Blues Club, and they, the timbre of my voice is, I guess, similar to Aretha's, or like its uniqueness, the passion that comes through. And so they kept giving me all of these Aretha songs. And as I heard that she was, getting ill, I was like, I really want to do this tribute show, because I want people to, give people a way to remember her music, even before, just kind of rejuvenate the music or her musical legacy. And I did this one tribute show, and then it was just, from there it was on. So.
Well, now, unlike a lot of tribute artists, you don't just do the tribute show. You have a lot of your own original music as well. And I imagine there's got to be some interesting challenges that you encounter trying to balance these two different artistic personas, these two different almost career tracks that you're trying to do simultaneously. How do you make that balance happen?
So my tribute show is a little different. Straight out of the gate, I tell people that it's not, I'm not trying to impersonate Aretha. I'm not trying to be her. I'm really giving the audience my interpretations of the songs that were made popular by Aretha Franklin. And so I'm still authentically CC, even in the tribute show. And I think that allows me to kind of vacillate between the two pretty easily, because I don't have to go into character, if that makes sense at all, right? And a lot of times, because larger venues are looking for that the tribute act, it actually is beneficial, because I can use the smaller dates to route, I would use the bigger dates as anchors and route to do my smaller original stuff. So it actually works out pretty well to have those two tracks going in my favor.
Oh, that's an interesting strategy. Tell me more about this. So you'll book like a large venue doing Aretha, in a major city, and then that's your hub, and then you'll do some smaller original gigs around that venue while you're already there.
Yeah, just kind of routing, because most of the venues, they have a radius clause, but the interesting piece about radius clauses is that if you have great agents like I do at Epic Arts Management, the radius clause is designated specifically for the Aretha show. So it's not CC to Neil in general. It's just for Aretha. So I may not play, in the same city. So I might play, Minneapolis for one, and then La Crosse, right? So like an hour away or 2 hours away, or 50 miles or 60 miles. So you just kind of make it happen so that you can get out there and spread your original music around as much as possible. I also, a lot
Holy
of times
cow, that's
I will,
clever.
and then a lot of times for my Aretha show, I will encore with an original song. And then I sell my CDs. Because a lot of times people are wanting to know. We started to hear that a lot at intermission, right? They're like, well, does she have her own music? And so we're like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to encore with original song. Encore with one of my really, really great original songs. One that we do all the time is What I Do to Get Your Love Back. It's a song written by my mom. And we do that. And I mean, my CDs kind of fly after that. So people are still buying CDs. People are still buying CDs. Tell artists that all the time. People are
There
still
you
buying
go. I mean,
CDs.
you must have so many moments after your Aretha show. People are like, man, you're really good. You should put out some original stuff. And you're like, funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, I
CDs.
do. The one thing that I take away from the Aretha show more than anything is that people say it rejuvenated them. It made them come alive. It made them feel differently. And every time I take the stage, I really ask the universe, God, whoever it is that you are in tune with, but I ask God to get in front of me and go to these people and give them what it is that they need, right? Some people are sad, some people are grieving, some people are sick, right? And this is their opportunity to be there. And so I don't take that lightly, that I am the person that has the opportunity to shift where they are for a moment in time. And so I really take that seriously. And that's what people say they leave with. So I'm really rewarded to be able to do this as a full-time career.
I was pretty blown away by the list of artists that you've opened for and shared stages with. BB King, Robert Randolph, who's been on our show before, Joe Cocker. What is the one artist that you saw that you were sharing a bill with them and just thought, wow, how did I get here?
Wow. I don't know. I don't know. I can't, because every opportunity is different, right? And you're in different spaces. I think because when you think about wow, that's a great question. How do you designate a legend that you are most happy to be opening for?
I mean, maybe an artist whose music you listened to a lot, maybe growing up.
I think if I had to choose, right? If you're going to force my hand.
Sorry. I know you love them all equally. It's the mean host that's making you pick one. It's my fault. Don't worry.
That's okay. I think I would say BB King.
Okay.
Because that was a full circle moment for me, because my mom, for 10 years of my life, my mom toured with all over the world with BB King. She was his opening act. And so, I was very familiar with Maceo Parker and Fred Wesley, the JB Horns, and, growing up, having those people in our living room and my mom traveling with them. So I think, me opening 4 times for BB King, that really was kind of the pivotal moment. Like, okay, you might be doing something right, girl. So that was kind of, I think that would be it. That would be when I was like, okay, I am on the right path now.
So another thing that I saw that you've done, particularly with the Aretha show, I believe, is you've performed on your share of cruise ships. And I've always thought that circuit is pretty interesting. The artists who end up doing that kind of work, that they tend to be built tough. The life of the sea is not for everybody, but they can be pretty lucrative and exciting gigs for the people who can do them. And I've always wanted to ask somebody who has done those gigs, how do you get those opportunities? Do you have any advice for the artists out there for how they can get some cruise ship gigs?
Yeah, so I'll start by saying there's a couple of different I would say categories of cruise ship entertainers, right? And so you have some that are guest entertainers like myself, and I'll explain that. And then you have cast, right? Cast entertainers, they're a part of the cast. There's produced shows that they do, and they go through an agency and they audition, they become a part of this cast, and then they go and they stay on the ship for, 6 months, 7 months, or whatever. Then you have people like myself and other guest entertainers who have their own show, right? And we go on, and they kind of call us, the nickname is fly on, fly off. So we go on for a week or 3 days, and we come home, and then we go to another ship for 3 days, and then we come home for a week, and then we go. And so basically what you do is, the advice that I would have is, you have to have a super high quality show, and then you pitch it to, people like my cruise agent, Don Casino Entertainment. There's other agents out there as well. But that's kind of the path that you would take. And it's not a hard life. It's actually pretty interesting, because you're traveling all over the world, and you're not relegated to being on a ship for months and months at a time.
These aren't extended voyages. That's good.
They're not.
I mean, you must have at least one pretty wacky cruise ship story. Things can get strange when you're on international waters. Surely you must have at least one moment that you're like, this, I didn't sign up for this. This is crazy.
I think I have two, but I'll tell you, I guess what I probably I'll ask you, I have an in the US story, and I have an out of US story. You tell me which one you want.
Oh, Katie, it's got to be the out of US one.
I'm
right?
thinking let's go international.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
all right.
Yeah.
So right out of the pandemic, I got an opportunity to perform on a particular cruise line. I won't say the name, because
Smart.
they're in business now, and I and they were fantastic, but I just don't think anybody knew what to do. And so I was scheduled to get off of the ship in Jamaica. I was scheduled to get off in Jamaica, and because I was slated to go catch another ship. So I did my show, and I'd done a great show, very different than what they were used to, but did the show nonetheless. And security is waiting for me when I come off stage in the dressing room, and I'm like, okay, hi. They're like, you have to come with us right now.
Oh dear.
For what? And so finally the cruise director comes back there, and then she's like, or the assistant cruise director, and she's like, Cece, we're having some issues. We need you to, we need to get you a new visa. You're not going to be able to get off in Jamaica. And I'm like, well, what do you mean I can't get off in Jamaica? Well, apparently they say that the ship is under arrest.
What?
The ship you were
The
on,
ship?
or the ship you were going on?
On.
Oh my God.
So I start calling my agent, whatever. So we get, one visa, and they're like, okay, no, they're not going to let us port there either. So they change my flights again. And I'm like, okay. Now they're like, you're going to go to Grand Cayman. All right, cool. Get flights there. Nope, you're not going out of there. They won't let us dock there either. So that nobody would let us dock without them coming on board, for fear of them coming on board to kind of confiscate everything that was.
Oh my God.
So I end up getting off. They end up docking in like a back dock somewhere of Costa Rica. And of course, I had been awake for 2 days at this point, like barely sleeping, because I'm like, am I gonna have to swim, or
Get a lifeboat?
Is the Coast Guard gonna like come, and I'm gonna have to throw my bag over it? Like I was fairly new to cruising at this time. It was like my third contract. And finally I got off in Costa Rica, and they had a car there for me. And when I got off, they opened up all of my stuff, like all my gowns, and there was sequins everywhere. And then I finally got into the car, and I told the guy, I said, listen, just don't kill me. I am going to sleep. And so I don't know how I got to the airport. I just remember closing my eyes. He stopped and let me use the restroom, and I opened my eyes back up, and I was at the terminal for the airport, and I was so grateful. But yeah, so that is the craziest story that I've had.
I still need clarity. So the boat itself like who was there someone on the boat that they were trying to arrest, or like the boat,
No.
the
So
cruise
I
line
think
itself was doing an
so
illegal
I
thing?
think what had happened is that the line at the time had gotten into some federal or not like bankruptcy.
Okay.
And so once they go into a situation like that, it's my understanding that they kind of start coming on and they kind of confiscate everything to be kind of sold off or to pay off their debts. And
Gotcha.
again, they are fine now. The line is fine now. However, that particular day in January of 22,
Not a good one.
no.
Picked a bad time to be on that boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Did
my
you
God.
make it to your next boat?
See,
The interesting part about that is I made it by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
I'm amazed you were still willing to go on another boat after that.
You know what? You just kind of got to roll with it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The compensation for what we're doing, and the opportunity to share and connect with so many people at one time, it's not really an opportunity that you turn down.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Talk about being dedicated to your craft. That's unbelievable. You're willing to get yourself smuggled back into the country because you're on like a pirate ship of some kind.
Well, the interesting part is that the assistant cruise director, she thought she was being funny, but she said, "You need to pick out your pirate name." I said, "I don't want a pirate name. I want to go home."
Okay, what would your pirate name be though?
I think
That's asking the right questions.
I think I would be like a Daphne or something like that.
I like it.
It still sounds like the name of someone who got captured by pirates.
Oh, I'm not really a pirate girl,
Which
so
I guess
don't
that's a
know.
good thing. Like that is you and your gown. Like you're not a pirate. You're just
I mean, she
accidentally with
couldn't
them.
get off the boat for like a couple days. She kind of was captured by
captive, yeah.
pirates.
She was like, you
I
are captive.
probably would know how to evoke. Like I'm from the country, here in Florida, like backwoods. So I probably could evoke some really interesting survival skills if I had to. I don't think we were at that point yet. Where I
No.
needed to,
Oh my gosh. Well, I also know that you're something of a foodie. And whenever we get foodies on the show, I like to ask this question. And I don't know if you've ever been on the show, Katie, when we've done the foodie question. So I might ask you this question too, which is, what is your most controversial food opinion? So, for example, I'll start. My controversial food opinion that I always go with is I prefer burgers over steaks. And, because I just think that like, an $8 burger or a $6 burger is still delicious. A $6 steak is terrible, right? Like there's a lot more margin for error in a burger and it can still be good. Like a steak has to be, really expensive and cooked the right way to be good, but like a burger is always good. And so I tend to gravitate more toward burgers and steaks, but steak people always get mad at me for that. Controversial opinion.
I'm a burger girl.
There you go. There you go. Kindred spirit. I love it.
I like burgers. I like to dress them up. I like, we had a party at one of our family parties and we did a burger bar, right?
Ooh,
nice. All the toppings and all we had to cook was burgers, But no, I'm a burger girl too, Ryan. So we're in sync there.
So do you have like another controversial food opinion?
I think my controversial food opinion is that sushi is overrated.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's controversial.
That might be the country girl coming out there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because you're in like kind of rural Central Florida, right, where you grew up.
Well, I'm in St. Cloud, but I grew up in like rural Central Florida. Yes,
like,
where we
like what area?
Cows. It's called Osteen. So we had cows and pigs, and I gathered eggs in the morning. The rooster woke us up. That kind of thing.
Might not be a great deal of sushi options in Osteen.
And I mean, but I've been to now 62 countries, so. I mean, I should be a little bit cultured at this point, and I just still cannot get into sushi. I mean, the only sushi that I really enjoy is I don't like seaweed. I'll eat it with rice paper, and I like everything to be cooked.
I'm kind of with you there. I prefer a cooked sushi, which is really not sushi, but like a cooked thing over raw, because that can be kind of slimy. But
So, I mean, you basically just like, chicken and rice, but like in a bite-sized circle. Like,
Well, and I can do a little shrimp.
Yeah, what
Shrimp,
about
okay.
shrimp tempura, Ryan? Come on.
There you
Don't
go.
do us
Hey,
like
look,
that, Ryan, okay?
Tempura.
I should make
California
clear
roll.
that, you know, if I'm asking for controversial food opinions, I should be enforcing a judgment-free zone here. You're right.
Yeah.
Because
outta here.
I want people to be able to fully share their controversial views without fear of judgment. So, Katie, do you have a controversial food opinion?
I honestly don't think I do. I can't think of anything that's really controversial. I mean, like, I think mashed potatoes are the superior potato form. Like, but I don't know that that's controversial because I think a lot of people think that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Over French fries?
It's like really close, but I could eat my
No,
weight in mashed
definitely
potatoes.
definitely mashed potatoes.
It's
Oh,
gotta be a good one though. I like
Yes,
it
like with like
light.
some Asiago cheese and butter and cream and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love French fries. Don't get me wrong. But I love mashed potatoes.
I like mashed potatoes, though they almost have to have like a baked potato vibe to them, right? Like it has to be like a loaded kind of thing.
I mean, sure, but also I think baked potato. You think you want to talk about overrated? I think baked potatoes are overrated.
You think baked potatoes are overrated?
Yeah,
I agree. I prefer mashed potatoes dressed like baked potatoes.
and I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
Cece, you're my
girl.
burger person. Like, how can you be a burger person and not hang out with burger's best friend, the French fry?
Then therein lies the controversy, then, right? People think that burgers have to go with fries, and I think you can put a burger, because burger is like holy grail. I think you could put a burger with anything. You could put a burger with salad. You could put it with mashed potatoes. You could put it with sweet potato fries. I guess that's still fries, but you can put it with a hot dog. Like, just
Try innovating, Ryan. Why don't you try innovating for once in your life?
I know. I am meting out a great deal of judgment for the judgment-free zone. That is, what is your controversial food opinion? I'm sorry. Our guest is Cece Tennille, independent music award-winning recording artist. Her latest single, "Try," was released on May 24th. Tell us a little bit about this song. Or I mean, I was listening to it. I was digging it. Tell us what you love about it.
I love that it is not your typical concept, right? When a lot of people listen to the song, they think it's, oh, I want you to, come back, and it's a breakup song. It's really not. It's really a song that is saying, like, we can get through whatever we have been through. In fact, try not to think about me. So it's kind of like got a little tinge of arrogance there, or overconfidence there coming from the woman. And usually, a lot of times, I'm going to be a little sexist here, but a lot of times it's the man that can't get it right, that is making a bunch of mistakes, right, Katie? And so this one is basically the woman taking some accountability and saying, I made a terrible mistake, but look at all these memories. Look at all the times we've had. Like, we should just keep pushing. So she's asking the question, do I have a place in your mind the way you're always running through mine? Huh? I do? Good. Try not to, or you don't know? Try not to think about me. I dare you to try.
Ooh, I like
I'm obsessed with that.
Find out more about our guest's work by visiting cctennille.com. Cece, this has been an absolute pleasure. You are a ray of sunshine. Really, we didn't even get a chance to talk about it, but we're really grateful for like the philanthropy work that you do. All the different things that you're doing in the community is just really inspiring. And we've just loved hanging out with you. Please don't be a stranger. We want to have you on again more often because this has been a blast. We got one more question for you before you go. Do you have any last tips for the indie creators out there to help them move their careers forward?
I think if I had to give any tip, and it's probably going to be a bit cliche, but I would say the number one thing that I've done to keep my career alive and to keep moving it, ahead is to be true to myself. As long as I am authentic, as long as I treat people the way I want to be treated, just following those golden rules, right? Be yourself, treat people the way you want to be treated. and put one foot in front of the other, don't stop. Those are the things that will keep you continuously elevating.
Love it. Our thanks to Cece Tennille, to co-host Katie Zaccardi and producer Lauren, and thanks to all of you viewers and listeners for checking out Break the Business. We'll see you next week.
Bye.